drops on down. That is certainly possible, but what I'm a little bit more...
Hey guys, Ader Michael here. I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes. We're doing wall-to-wall severe weather coverage with tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. Just thought I'd pop this up.
Around the area, you have these very strong gusty winds. Move this down a little bit. So let me get you position. Here's Washington Courthouse. You guys in Washington Courthouse right now. You have some very active weather, and this extends right up just to the south of Mount Sterling. It's going to be just most likely scooting just to your southwest, southeast rather, around Mount Sterling. We're back here into parts of Pickaway County, and notice in Circleville, Asheville, you are officially not in the warning yet, although we have our storm winds out there. We have a wind advisory that remains in effect. We also have some very heavy rain, as you can see in your area, but you're not in the warning zone yet. This is not a primary threat. The main threat is still back here to a little bit farther to the west that I mentioned. But currently, that severe thunderstorm warning is in the Columbus area. The warning is up until 7:30, so we don't have the strong weather in here yet, but it is certainly starting to approach. We're starting to see some of this activity around Plain City, around Hilliard, over just farther to the south. We have Powell here, we have Westerville, up near Polaris Mall. There's no problems right now, but we definitely have a few of these areas that are going to be pushing across, bringing in some more rainfall, some heavier winds, and nothing else. We just have some stronger gusty winds that are out there. And it's interesting, I'll use this just to take a second and say, when you have, just kind of put this as a visual perspective, let's say you have storms that are moving through at 50 miles per hour, and they're being pushed along by the main winds just in the atmosphere. And let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, out of those storms, it's raining. And the storms themselves are not producing wind gusts at all, they're not doing any of that. It's just simply stationary and rain. And it's moving at 50 miles per hour because it's being pushed along at 50 miles per hour. Well, you'll get a wind gust of 50 miles per hour. I'm being very simplistic here, but you'll get a wind gust of 50 miles per hour simply because that rain, as it's whipping across, is being pushed at 50 miles per hour the same way that if you were driving down the freeway at 70 miles per hour and you took a ball and tossed it out the window, that ball is, even though you just lobbed it, the ball is moving at about 70 miles per hour. And so when we have storms that are producing output, it's almost seeing that ball chucking you while you're going 70 miles per hour. That's why these are so damaging. I heard the siren, Andrew. Was that anything
just
else?
An update to the Marion County tornado warning, just saying that it will be dropped at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock. Okay, so they have not extended the warning in Marion County to include you in Crawford County or over into parts of Morrow County that we thought was possible, at least, and that's up there. I'll show you that. So that's why whenever we have these winds that are sustained, we look higher up in the atmosphere. We go all the way up to jet stream level. We look at several thousand feet up, all these different ingredients. But we have these winds that are just screaming these storms along. So even if it's just raining, it's like dropping the ball out the window. The rain's going to come through. You're going to see the winds kick up 50 miles per hour. If there's outflow from any of these storms are really pushing along stronger. Even if there's not a spin up, that's where you can quite easily get a 60, 70 mile per hour wind speed out ahead of it, and that is unquestionably in the severe category. Let's just continue our tour out, and then I'm going to send it up to you. Starting to see a few cells pop here. Here's Fredericktown in Knox County. Here's Mount Vernon. You guys have some very active weather. You're not in the warning area yet. Back here, there is that current tornado warning that is set to expire at 7 o'clock. It is in Marion County, up in Wyandotte County as well. Down to the south, you see this stronger line here now through Richwood, down into Marysville. This is it. This is the line in Marysville. You folks, just within a couple of minutes, if you don't have it already, you're going to experience some very strong winds. No tornado warning for you right now. I just want you to be aware that spin-ups can certainly happen there. It's right down. It's starting to push into Madison County, and that line goes a little bit farther. This is where it starts to break up a bit. But there's Fayette County, which is just knocking on the door. If you were planning on traveling into 870 and you're watching from Columbus or anywhere, you need to wait. You need to wait for that to pass on by.
All right, Bill, thank you. And as you mentioned, we were waiting that calm before the storm, so to speak. So I believe we're going to go to Brooks DeRose, who is in Mobile Track 6. He is near West Jefferson, off of I-70, I believe. Brooks, what are you seeing right now, and what have you been seeing throughout this evening?
Well, we're kind of sitting in standby mode right now at around 142 here in Madison County. Police were patrolling up and down here. They actually stopped to ask them what we knew when the storm was going ahead. As Bill mentioned, just minutes away right now. We have seen the wind start to pick up. Many flags here in this plaza we're sitting in, blowing around pretty steadily. A lot of people still out getting some food and things before they head home at some of the restaurants up and down the road here. But right now we're just waiting for this to blow in the next couple of minutes. Reporting live in Old Track, Brooks Road, AC.
All right, Brooks, thank you. And the calm is starting to end for Ben Garbrick. Ben, what are you seeing up there in Marysville as we speak?
Any observations that we've seen from Marysville? Oh, good. Let's, this next one really comes to you. If you just want to look at the odds here at the top of the hour, as we rattle some off.
We are not seeing anything near the strong wind gusts that were coming through this area earlier, and nothing close to this amount of rain that was coming down just a few minutes.
Yes, tornado warning expires at 7 p.m.
It feels like there's something right now just a little bit, and the storm seems like it's getting closer to us as we're waiting for that second wave to hit us here in Marysville.
All right, Ben, thank you. Now let's go over to Tom Bosco. He is live in Delaware County. Tom, you don't have your hood on anymore. You've had it on for most of the evening. Calm up there.
Yeah, things have certainly calmed, no question about that. And we are south is behind me, and that is the direction that the wind and rain were coming from a little bit ago. Right now, well, just in the last 2 seconds, actually, we just got a little bit of a drizzle starting to pick up. The wind, certainly not where it was a little while ago. Things are definitely calmer right now. Additionally, I called up to...
Can you guys pass that along to Master
And I'm
Control?
going to toss it.
Really, come to you.
I'll start here.
Marion County Sheriff's
I'll start here.
They have had nothing as far as damage reports. They have no power outages. Things fairly calm, at least as far as law enforcement is concerned up there. Taking another look here at Lewis Center, you can see flags whipping a little bit of rain, a little wind blowing, but generally speaking, we are in good shape. Reporting live in Lewis Center, Tom Bosco, ABC.
All right, Tom, thank you. You mentioned those power outages. Right now, the AP reporting no major outages, about 114 customers without power in Monroe County. Bill?
Can I just tell you how much I would love it if by the time it cut through the area there was enough significant decrease in its power that we don't have much in the way of power outages. That would be wonderful. And I do see things breaking up just a little bit. We're here back in the Weather Center, and I have it focused on Delaware to show you that's where Tom was, and then you just saw Ben's report in Marysville. So we have Tom, he's in Lewis Center. We have Tom positioned about right here. We have Ben Garbrick right here, and you mentioned that first wave came through, and he's waiting on the second. There's the first wave right here. The second wave that's just about to hit you folks in Marysville is positioned here. It's probably another minute or two away, really, as we look at the, let me tell you specifically, leading edge of this, about 2 minutes away from Marysville. So you're going to see another round kick up. In Milford Center, it's just on your door right now. Up here near Magnetic Springs, you've seen the strongest winds. You're probably seeing them right now, experiencing them. Richwood, same thing. We move on a little bit farther to the north. Greencamp, Marion, you're still in the severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado warning is over at this point. Let me look at this little cell path. It's picking up a little rotation. No hail probability with that, and that's going to be likely. Hail is going to be very unlikely with any of these as they move themselves across. So we extend on down. Again, approaching the Columbus area. Here's another one that's just pushing into, this is the leading edge, pushing into Dublin and Powell. That's out there near the airport, near the zoo right now.
For Morrow County, severe thunderstorm warning for Morrow County.
Oh, did they issue that new one there, up there for Morrow? Yep, there it is, Mount Gilead. So that means you are under the severe thunderstorm warning, Mount Gilead. We'll move that. That's going to be because of this cell, another 19, 20 minutes for you guys. Denmark, you have another, say, 9, 8 minutes. Fulton, you're looking at another 19 minutes or so until the weather gets into your area, at least the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. And then we continue down to the south. This one here in Dublin, I mentioned near the zoo, that's not the main line. The main line is still back over here into the western section that's going to be pushing into Pleasant Madison County right now. Not a good night to travel, at least not the next hour or two. So we will certainly be keeping our eyes on this. Andrew, I want to talk to you about, we got some new observations here at the top of the hour. Do you want to take weather 2?
Sure, take weather 1 actually. Yeah, and this photo just came in from Aaron Rigsby. He was actually storm chasing, and this picture was actually out in Lebanon, Indiana, not Lebanon, Ohio, but you can see that funnel cloud there, and he actually did get video of that touching down. We'll try to get that for you, some of the video from that tornado. Right now, just to talk about the conditions that we've got going on outside, south winds at about 21 miles per hour, 21 miles per hour. It's pretty windy out there. You can see the tower cam shaking around just a little bit. And just talk about those winds.
I also want to point out, too, on that map, our dew point there still nearly 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Which there's some moisture. It's certainly not up there, oppressive stage.
Right.
There's certainly moisture for this time of year to work with.
And these are the current sustained winds. So these are the constant winds, 30 miles per hour right now in Groveport. So those winds are really kicking in. Wind gusts 36 in Dublin, 36 miles per hour in Groveport as well. And the good news is these storms, the strongest storms still have yet to hit the metro area. But by the time we get to 11 p.m., this should be done out of here off to the east. So again, this is just through the next few hours that we're going to be tracking these storms pushing their way through. And again, I've been telling you all evening long, download our Ohio weather app, OHIO space WX. You can get the notifications of all the warnings on your phone and also the WSYX app itself. So the two apps, to get the WSYX app, you can actually live stream the entire time, Bill.
And you bring up a good point, too, because a lot of people watching this, they might be thinking, hey, is this going to last all night? It's going to be through tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow we're looking at a very dry day, right? Looking at some sunshine out there, so we're keeping our eyes on that. So it should be much cooler with the passing of this cold front.
And I believe Ben Garber is up in the Marysville area. If he happens to have his live shot, we'd love to be able to take that soon because I know the strongest winds, if you want to zoom into Marysville, Marysville's about ready to see some of the strongest winds, if not seeing it actually right now. Actually, let's go right to Ben.
There he is.
It's really coming down pretty hard right now. You can see the rain coming this way. I don't know if you can see it in the
Oh, jeez.
Have you seen any hail out there, Ben? Okay, stay dry out there and stay safe.
Let's give you another look at the radar. And Andrew, you and I were just talking about this. It's looking more and more optimistic in terms of the way that this is breaking up. Definitely very strong winds. Definitely some breaks out there in terms of the straight line winds, but we're not seeing a ton of activity relative to what it was even an hour ago. Down in the Cincinnati area, they continue to have a a tornado warning through parts out here. It's moving across. That is Warren to Highland County. And then also behind this, because of some very heavy rain, they have this flood advisory that you see out here. This area that is into the green that we're watching at. But again, that's down in Cincinnati. Let me clear that off the screen and move this back up into our region. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for all the counties that you see in the orange box. We have very strong winds up to 60, 70 miles per hour possible. We always, in this situation out there, have the potential for some quick spin-ups. On Halloween night, we saw a similar situation where we had those quick straight-line wind gusts that lasted for just a mere minutes. I mean, just real quick. But along there, we had 3, or rather 4, in Ohio, confirmed tornadoes that were on the ground for a matter of 30 seconds to a minute. They weren't very long, but they were there. We saw a lot of the trees down. We saw some mobile home damage. We saw damage to roofs out there. This was just a couple of weeks ago. And so we're seeing that same thing again. Now, while this doesn't have these classic supercell signatures, I definitely want to inform you that if you are in the warning area, you just need to take those precautions now. It doesn't hurt anything to just say, okay, we're going to, if you have a basement, just go spend some time in the basement as this passes. It's only going to be over your area for a very short period of time. In fact, when you look at this active line, we're talking 15, 20 minutes. It's not going to be much.
No, not very long at all. And I do want to point out, too, Clinton County, which is where the National Weather Service is based out of, they did report 59-mile-per-hour wind gusts there as the storm came through. Yeah, they just reported that 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's right here. You can actually see the radar, Clinton County right here. And they were talking, what was the speed you said?
59 miles per hour.
Okay, that's definitely in the severe level threshold. And that is this storm right here that came through at the top of the hour. And you can see the leading edge right ahead of this. That is generally, when you see these types of signatures, that's generally where you're going to see those strongest of the winds. And so that's been confirmed. National Weather Service right here at the Wilmington Airport, essentially, just outside, here's Interstate 71, and then you drive inland. You drive in from there, and that's where the Weather Service is. Okay, so 59-mile-per-hour winds, severe thunderstorm winds.
Some of the other ones that we're getting in, the Montgomery County, which is the Dayton area, 64-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the Dayton area. Right. Down in the Cincinnati area, Hamilton County, gusts of 75 miles per hour.
Now that was a storm
total. That was not the top of this last hour, correct?
That was a wind gust reported 75 miles per hour.
Gust reported. Wow, look at that down in Cincinnati. Okay, so then, yeah, we have some very, and when we look at that, we have some very strong winds. Obviously, those straight line winds around all of these. That's why the tornado warning, or excuse me, the thunderstorm warning is up. Again, it's going to be in this zone right ahead of this. This is Jeffersonville. We are now down in Fayette County. Let's ride up the county line. There's Madison County, moving its way on into, not quite in Franklin County yet. Here's the Franklin County line. Here's the Pickaway County line. You have Mount Sterling. Here's Harrisburg, Interstate 71. It's breaking up a little bit. Just sort of severe thunderstorm warning go off. That is for Delaware, Franklin. It's a continuation of that warning until 7:45 because of those strong winds. Here it is into the northern section up near Plumwood, into Madison County, up to the north, continue on into Union County. We saw Ben Garber's live report in Marysville. All of this, the strongest winds are going to be right out here where you see my arrow, Unionville Center. In fact, we are over Marysville right here. There's the newest radar sweep. The storm has passed the heaviest rain. Let's go back out live to Ben Garber. Ben, what are you seeing now?
Thank you, Ben. That's exactly right. Here was that first little wave he was talking about, and this was the lull right in between, and now that wave that we saw in the live report, and now he's behind it. And you folks watching this from Union County, basically from Marysville back to the west, you're in the clear. That primary threat line has passed you from Marysville, and to be very specific, not all of Union County, Marysville west. So anywhere you're watching West Logan County, Clark County, Champaign County, you guys are in the clear in terms of the severe weather threat. Your severe weather threat is over. But it is still approaching. We're going to be taking Tom Bosco's live shot here coming up in just a little bit because we are watching Thomas in the Lewis Center. So you have Lewis Center right around this area, right here south of Delaware. When we're looking at the timing, he's also, and you folks there, Delaware, Lewis Center, down here, Westerville. Here's after Powell. You got some very heavy rains and some heavy wind right now. But the main threat out over here, we're going to put a line. It's about 10 minutes away, depending on where you are in Delaware County. Or extend this on out into the city of Delaware, you're about 8, 9 minutes somewhere in there. Once this crosses, so I'm going to give you, generally speaking, say 17, 18 minutes from now. So let's just say 20 minutes in Delaware. Once, another 20 minutes. Once we hit 7:30, let's be very specific. Once we hit about 7:30, your severe weather threat is going to be over in the city of Delaware. It's not over right now. Powell, same thing. We use this line here. You guys got another 17, 18 minutes to get to the backside of this severe weather potential. That line is not going to last very long. We saw Ben Garber's slide shot there in Marysville. It was a time period of a couple of minutes, literally. I mean, like 2 minutes. That's what it was. And along that, if you get through that, it's fine. You don't get any tree damage. You don't get any power outage. Well, that's because the power outage could be some, a little bit farther downstream. But those things are well upstream. You can see that around the area. So, but in terms of our severe weather threat, that will be over for you guys. Let me draw it out a little bit farther, and I'll take the leading edge, not the over edge. In Westerville, for example, you got another 20 minutes. We're going to say about 7:30 or so. Berkshire, you have about 23 minutes. You draw it out to say New Albany out here to northeast Franklin County. You guys are at about, say, 26 minutes from now. Let me go a little bit farther off to the south and draw this map on up and let's talk about the city of Columbus. We're going to go up to the north. I'll cover you guys. And some of you might be watching, by the way, from Muskingum County, over to Guernsey County, over to Perry County, a little bit farther to the east. I haven't covered it so much because it's still back here to your west. But I will get you guys running. But I will get to you guys as it gets a little bit closer. Let's look at the leading edge. Draw this to Columbus again. We're at about 7:30. That's the time we've been telling you about most of the night into the city of Columbus. So up here, here's OSU, Ohio Stadium. You have Riverly, you have Worthington, up into Westerville. You guys also about 20 minutes. Down a little bit farther south, you have Hilltop, you have West Columbus. Hilliard is going to be a little bit closer than that. Any of those?
Yeah, that's tornado siren. Mic on here. The tornado siren was just an update to the tornado watch. There are no new tornado warnings at this
Is
time.
that watch still on the midnight time?
It's just Pickaway, Pike, Ross County. They still keep that. They just reissued it.
Okay, so no new tornado warnings. That's good. But it also brings it back up. We're watching. I say along this, there is certainly that possibility in that minute or two. It's not going to be long, but there is that possibility as the storm is moving through your area, just for these quick little, they're called gustnadoes essentially. They're out along what's called the gust front of the storm. So these gustnadoes that quickly spin on up, they're not big, F4 tornadoes or anything like that. But they are possible out there. So that's why we're on the air. That's why we're watching it. Any of those warnings are issued on the instantaneously.
And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Licking, Madison, Franklin, Fairfield, Fayette, Pickaway, Ross, and Hocking County. They issued a big warning for that.
Just kind of blanket there, but let me widen it on out here for you and show you as we make our way across. So that is what, there it is right there. It extends out to Ross, Licking County. This is right down into Fairfield County. You guys now are technically in the warning time if you're assigned for you. You're at that till 8:15 for that time. And while I have this, yeah, it is a big area. I mean, it includes Franklin all the way down to Ross County. It looks like it's just to the north of Chillicothe for you folks, but still, if you're in Ross County, I'd be aware that you have the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. Northern Ross County, Pickaway County, Madison, Southern Licking, as we just talked about. It is a radar indicated severe thunderstorms located along this line back here that we were just bringing out to you. Moving to the east at about 65 miles per hour. I mean, these things are they're just tearing along really, really fast. The storm hazards includes winds at 60 miles per hour. Here, the National Weather Service there in Wilmington had that 59 mile per hour wind gust. That's severe level. I mean, you can get damage at that. You can get shingles ripped off a house if they're loose there. You can get some tree branches down at that point. And also, too, and if you have a second on weather one, I don't know if you still have to say, but if you drop that Beaufort wind scale map, we talk about some of the different damages, the one that you created a couple weeks ago. If you have it, just see if you have it. We'll look for it. We talked about some of the damage potential. But Mount Sterling, Hilliard, New Holland, Upper Arlington, Worthington, Grove City, and these are all cities we've been telling you about, but now they're officially.
It's up on Weather One whenever you want it.
Okay, Easton, Hannah, Asheville, these have all been in the warning anyway. In addition, Chenoweth, Wilmington, New Martinsburg, Lilly, Big Plain, essentially this huge area. And actually, can you take Weather One for me real quick? I'll show you. We put this together. Go ahead and click on the 55 to 63 mile per hour storm explainer there. And, trees broken or uprooted potentially with winds up to 65 miles per hour. Recall that during our derecho last year in June, when those power lines at Hamilton Road came down, I mean, those were wind gusts of about 75 miles per hour. So it's no joke when you have 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts. Building damage, considerable, and of course, if you provide the water, you have some large waves. Then take you back even farther than that, you get violent. So now we're up to like the 75 mile per hour stuff I was talking about. That's when you have the potential for widespread damage.
All right. Bill, thanks. Let's go to Tom Bosco. He is live in Delaware County where it is starting to hit out there. Tom, tell us what you're seeing at this moment.
We've got rain. I mean, certainly don't have the wind that we had a little while ago, but we do have rain, and this rain literally just started in the last minute or so. Sheets of rain coming.
When we come back, I'll go back to weather 2.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's steadier than a drizzle, but not certainly a very strong rain right now. But I mean, I guess, looking at the radar, that rain is coming in from the west, and we will be seeing some of that a little while later. But as I reported a little bit ago, section in Marion County, they don't seem to be reporting any damage, power outages, or the like. Same thing here in Delaware County. We're monitoring police frequency scans out here and watching in terms of damage as well. But we're going to keep watching the situation. And actually, now that we look at it, it's starting to pick up just a little bit more here. Rain's starting to get just a little bit heavy, heavier. But we, as I said, in watching the radar, expecting that the line of yellow intense showers will be coming this way shortly. But this is what it looks like right now here in Delaware County. This is what line heading through the center of Bosco State.
All right, Tom, thanks. A little closer to downtown. Now Terry Sullivan is live outside our studios in West Columbus. Terry, what do you got up there? this has been so important for us to make you aware of. That line of storms that is hitting Ohio now hit Illinois and Indiana severely earlier this afternoon. I believe we have some video that we can show you to show the power of those storms earlier today. 77 reported tornadoes, so nearly 80 tornadoes touching down across those two states. This is some of the aftermath damage. This is in Gifford, I believe, Illinois, showing you just how much damage. The emergency management, they're reporting about 70 homes destroyed and 37 people in the hospital in Peoria and 3 people killed. So this is why we're paying extra close attention to this. And we're going to bring it back to our area now. We're going to go to Brooks to Rose. He's on I-270, I believe. Brooks, what are you seeing out there as we speak?
Well, we are on I-270. We've been watching very closely on our Ohio WX app. And right now we have just turned on the 270 off of 70.
This is not.
And what we are seeing now.
No, it's breaking up. I'm going to say that right now.
What's that?
Pretty bad.
We'll talk about that right now.
All right.
Now we're on the traffic out
You want to come back to me next?
Really seen practically no one since we've been on 270. The wind really starting to push in right now. Once again, not a lot of traffic, and the rain is fairly steady, but not overly heavy. The main line, according to what we can see on the app, is a little bit to the east of us already. So we're trying to kind of shape this storm, catch up with it, see if we can see any sort of damage or anything, any path that's been left behind.
All right, Bruce, thank you. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly now. Bill, this is a fast-moving storm. It is difficult to stay in front of.
It is, and what we're watching is this line first. And was that anything?
No.
Tornado siren?
Just an update.
This is our bigger picture over the last couple of hours, and notice it's breaking up. Actually, we go back over to weather 2. I want to show you something. First, I want to point out we're having over Columbus now. Here's where the leading edge is. It's going to be moving across the area. But I will say, and you guys at home, you know this if you watch our channel often, and hopefully you do if you're new tuning in. I'll just say this. We are not one of those stations. I'm not calling anybody else out. We are not one of those stations that like to hype things up just for the sake of hyping it up for television. That's just not what we do. When there's a serious threat, we tell you about it. We have fun. We have fun. That's fine. But what I want to say, the reason I bring that up is because yes, here's where I'm at personally on this storm right now, watching everything that's going on. We have the potential for damaging winds, although as swipe after swipe, if you will, of the radar, scan after scan goes through. We look at some of the newest data. We look at some of the information that's already happened in the history of the storm. I absolutely see this thing breaking apart. Not saying that everybody is in the clear. Please don't misunderstand me. However, when we see some of the pictures that we saw today of communities completely level in parts of Indiana and Illinois, I mean, it's just incredible the damage that some of those folks suffered today during the peak heating of the day in the afternoon. Yes, we have severe weather in our area. That is why we are on the air covering. But in terms of these violent tornadoes, I feel comfortable saying at this point that is not very likely, and I'm not too worried about that in our area. Spin up, absolutely. Gusts of wind, quickly, not lasting for even 10 minutes, but for a minute or two. Winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. Yes, that is possible, and that is damaging winds. But I'm feeling better and better about the possibility of not seeing tremendous amount of widespread damage around our area. Again, quick tornadoes possible? Absolutely. Damaging wind? Absolutely. So I want to be very clear on that. However, I'm liking overall what I'm seeing.
Yes,
in our
Marysville
area.
is
In fact,
clear.
what I'm going to do is show you the different. Was that anything I need to know about, Andrew? Andrew, was that anything that tornado?
No. Just an update to the watch.
That's what I figured. Okay, so here's what we're going to look at, and what I want to show you. All these little emblems are storm reports that have been around the area. So if we look back here this afternoon, everywhere that you see these red dots were tornado reports today. I mean, look at this, incredible for November, incredible. Nearly 80 reports so far of tornadoes. 80 tornadoes. That's remarkable really for any of them. That's remarkable, especially for November. But as we look back toward our area, we look toward Ohio, we are seeing damage reports. But notice how they start to decrease in frequency and number around our area. In fact, look at this video. It's from Illinois today. I mean, this is big deal stuff here. I mean, communities level over there in parts of Illinois, Indiana, far parts over there of Kentucky. There were these parts all right now. So we're getting rain, we're getting some very strong winds. I mean, look at that right there. But I don't see it as that. That's what we saw today in Illinois, and I'm very, very thankful about that. But again, just telling you, I don't want you to get off your guard yet, but that's just what I'm calling it as I see it, as I mentioned. So here's some of the here's some of the current damage reports that we've seen on these wind gusts. This is near Bell Fountain, the airport there. This was at 6:20, saw a wind gust of 60 miles per hour. This is in Powell Mark. Is that what we're looking at on this live camera? Okay, yeah, so that line that we talked about is going through right now. I'm going to jump off of this screen for a second. I want to zoom on down to Powell and show you where it is right now. Let's just map cycle. We use this tool right here. Let's head on over to Powell, and there it is.
If you guys want to kind of head over to the east a little bit towards Grove.
So right now, in Westerville, if you're watching in Westerville, up near Lewis Center, that's where the storms are. Go ahead and just, one of those things, just keep cautious, maybe be in the lower level of your house. Down to Worthington, same thing. Waverly, back over here, parts of Dublin, especially if you're in the eastern part of Dublin, go ahead and maybe in the lower level if you just want to be ultra safe.
Yeah, have you guys passed 71 yet?
Right up here into Lewis Center right now. Bosco's right in, I imagine, corner where you are currently, right? Actually, that's a shot right there, right? No, we lost the audio. So that, yeah, okay. Well, that's Lewis Center right there, right, Mark? Mark, by the way, is our producer I'm talking to in the here. So yeah, the severe weather threat will last for a couple of minutes. You can see it on the live camera now. Winds are going to pick up. Hopefully, we won't see any of these trees start to break up and crash onto the ground. Whenever you're ready, Bosco, you go ahead and just take it away. You just start talking. If you can hear me, let me know what you're seeing right now.
Feeling right now, it's actually interesting. I can almost
Call up Mobile Track next. They're on 270 by Grove City. They're driving right through the winds right now, along with the storm.
couple of minutes here, and came in pretty darn heavily.
He's the crew of Justy, correct?
This is actually down just a little bit. We had, and I think I heard you talking about it. I think we saw the shopping cart zipping past there, but yeah, the wind just picked up very hard, very heavy, and was blowing that rain. Wind really coming out of the west now, early.
And Tom, let me tell you and then everybody else watching in your area, once this moves through, when your winds start to calm down significantly, that's it. Your threat's over because you're going to be back into this stuff. So Union County, you are out of the threat, essentially, is out ahead of this line. Now, you want to go, where do you want to go, Mark? We have mobile track down in Grove City. Is that right? Let's go to Brooks DeRose, who's down along 270 right here near Grove City. Now, Brooks, what are you seeing?
Hey there, Bill. We just passed the 71 interchange heading southeast on 270. The wind has picked up considerably. The rain is just whipping and going sideways. We've seen leaves, limbs, everything blowing across the roadway. Traffic starting to slow down. I know Drew, my photographer here, and my driver, he is really white knuckling it as we're getting blown around with all the cameras on top of our mobile track 6 unit. As we look around, many of the views here are hard to see, but this is a view from behind. You can see all the water traffic behind us. From the side, it's pretty dark there. Let me take you back for a front view. And you can see the rain really coming down hard now. This is the first that we've encountered in terms of a strong storm. And as I look at radar, we are right along part of the heaviest band as the wind comes down. We are having to actually slow down, and I don't know if you can hear the wind as it whips us kind of side to side as we're trying to keep it in the lane here. We are continuing ahead. We're coming up to Route 23 now as we come back around the other side of 270 heading south.
thank you. Let's get out to Luann's story. She's live in Hilliard tonight. Luann, I just saw your tweet. It sounds like the winds and everything else picking up pretty strong out there, huh?
This is the worst we've experienced all night. We saw some trucks pulled off alongside the road.
You gonna do a social thing?
Not yet. I got to get that thing fired up. I'm trying to move crews and everything else.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, 1,500 customers without power.
There are some bushes right here still. They've got a few leaves left on today on a nature hike. I know
52 mile per hour gusts in Delaware, 61 at the OSU airport.
Okay. OSU, and how many in Delaware? 59 in Delaware?
Yeah. 60, 61
In OSU.
in Union County. Or I'm sorry, 65 in Union County. As far as moving Ben, I don't have any reports of any damage yet. I know that they are just now reporting 65 mile per hour wind gusts in Dublin, 61 mile per hour wind gusts in OSU Airport. So he may just drive around Dublin area to see if there is any damage.
All right, Luann, thanks. Let's get over to Clay Hall. He's live in our breaking news center with an update on some of the power outages so far tonight, right?
Thank you very much. Just some early numbers in here. Under 500 mile per hour in Franklin County, this according to AEP. In Morrow County, that number at 114. In Perry County at 318. Those numbers likely to rise as the storm approaches central Ohio. We'll continue to monitor developments here. In the 1,500, I'm told, just in 1,500 in Licking County without power as the storm reaches the central Ohio area. Live at the Breaking News Center on Clay Hall. I'll be back in short.
All right, Clay, thank you. Let's get back over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly with an update on this line of storms picking up steam, Bill.
So we have a couple of observations that we've seen. I'm going to hop back in front of the map. 61 mile per hour wind gusts reported at the OSU airport. We have official wind gusts in Delaware at 59 miles per hour. We have a 65 mile per hour wind gust reported in Union County. Can we check on that for me?
Yep.
Yeah, just heard the severe thunderstorm sound go off. So all those reports are severe level. As I mentioned, the good news is it's quick. It doesn't last very long. So it's not going to be, like that for a matter of 10, 15, 20 minutes. But still, we definitely have the severe weather. Anything you know about?
It's just a new severe thunderstorm warning for far southern Pike County till 8:30.
Okay, I was looking at that earlier. I had it drawn up down into, so now Chillicothe, Ross County, and Pike County, you guys are all into the severe thunderstorm warning as well. And here's your leading edge of your lines going for leading edge of your severe weather that's just knocking on the door in Chillicothe right now. It will be continuing its way across Ross County over the next, say, 23 to 24 minutes. Let me use our tool, though, and bring it back up here to the north into Pickaway County, Circleville. You folks are in that mode right now. You're into severe weather right now. Give it another 10 minutes or so, and it will be gone. In fact, we can tell you specifically, there's 6, 7 minutes. We draw your way back here. 10, 12 minutes, and that will be gone. But we are definitely seeing severe level winds around our area, 60 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour. It's going to move across. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You see branches down. Hopefully there's not any power lines. Hopefully we get more and more power outages. But with those winds like that, if they are screaming across, we could easily see a couple of spin-ups here and there, which we haven't had reports on yet, but they're certainly possible. Now moving into Franklin County. In fact, by zooming on down here into Franklin County specifically, we've got this one little wave push up down to the eastern side, basically right along Broad Street, out to West Broad Street, just south of Buchanan near the airport. Here's Independence High School. Farther to the south, there's Obetz, down into parts of Obetz. That tornado so all the way down to this part of Franklin County. So that threat for you guys over the next 10 minutes is going to be gone. Right now it's there. By the way, Mark, where's this out here? Where are we looking at? Is that still Lewis Center? That's not Lewis Center, is it? That's Hilliard. Okay, that's as I said, Lewis Center. Most of your threat is gone. We move up here to the north, but here it is approaching. It's in Westerville now. It's just now up near Easton, moving across into New Albany. It's going to head over to Johnstown in Licking County along Highway 62 out there to the north. You're going to see that. It will eventually move into central parts of Licking County, but it is knocking on the door here up near Hoover Lake. There's Galena. In fact, it's already over Hoover Lake. There's Galena. There's Sunbury. That's where you guys get some heavy rain. Give this another few minutes, and it will be gone. In fact, as I look at the updates here, we still have the severe weather warning out. National Weather Service is going to pull this down any moment here, because once you get beyond this shade that you see in the yellows, the oranges, I'll point out for those of you that don't know, where you get these yellows, there we go, just pull it down. As we talk about this, rising air just right out of bed, and so you get this, it's pretty cool looking in time lapse, but you get this thing that moves across and it just looks like a shelf that's out there. So that's our front here, and extend, we take it and we use this tool again, and yeah, by the way, these are all interactive tools that we have on here, so I'm able to, myself, Andrew, Marshall, or Dan, whoever's at the wall, Bill, can talk to you and look at you, not just run the mouse, and then also interact with the radar and operate. So that's, some of you have asked in the past, what are all the little blue things I see at the top of the screen? That's what they are, so we can interactively focus in. So it has moved through Mount Gilead. Your threat, for the most part, is over. You are still under that severe weather warning up in Monroe County. It extends up here a little farther out more into the Cleveland area, but Mansfield, under the gun right now, that's where the severe weather warning goes into effect. Let's talk about Knox County. Right now, you are under a severe thunderstorm.
Most of the storms that are north of I-70, north of I-70 have weakened considerably. The one storm system that I'm still keeping a very close eye on is Ross and Pike counties down to the south. It has had a tornado reported, or at least a funnel cloud by Cincinnati already with those storms. Right now, there is no tornado warning with it. However, very strong winds down towards Ross and Pike counties very shortly.
10 minutes, you're probably closer to about 30 minutes. We draw it on that. I'll give you specifics. Yeah, about half an hour. And then into parts of Coshocton County, we're looking at, let's just say the town of Coshocton, roughly an hour from now. That's when that will move across. However, I will say, I've seen it, we've seen it over the last hour, 2 hours, certainly 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. We've seen it break up.
Once you guys hit I-70 in Reynoldsburg, you guys won't be able to get any more of the storm.
But it's not quite what it was earlier today, which is just fabulous news. I mean, that's great. Hopefully we'll dodge major bullet, get minor damage. Hopefully we won't have any of these spin-ups, but it is certainly possible if we look at places like this. In fact, tornado sirens on right now. Let me just make sure before I toss it down. I just want to make sure I still have the tornado warning issue.
It is a tornado warning issue. The tornado warning has just been issued for Fairfield, Franklin, and Pickaway counties. This goes until 8 p.m. Till 8 p.m. Tornado warning for Fairfield, Franklin, and Pickaway counties.
Tell you what, why don't you put on, go ahead and put on terminal Doppler. Let's take it off of the Wilmington radar. I want to put it on the terminal Doppler radar. I'm going to have you run this, Andrew, if you would. And this is a high definition radar that's localized. This is based near the Air Force. It doesn't spread out as wide, but it definitely covers more of the lower levels around our area. So where are we looking here? We got the radar's position out here. It's fairly near, so it's out here in Castle. And where you see the green, that is where the winds are coming toward the radar, and you see the red, that's where they're going away from the radar. So judging by that, you can see that the winds are moving this direction. You think they're picking it up right in here?
They're actually looking right down. They're looking down in the very northwestern corner of Pickaway County.
Of Pickaway, so we're looking down here.
Right there, yeah. That's right what they're looking at.
Okay, and then that's where can you zoom in?
They actually extended tornado warning now for Delaware and Licking County. So we now have tornado warning for Licking and Delaware County till 7:45, and also tornado warning for Fairfield, Franklin, and Pickaway County until 8 p.m.
Franklin. Okay, so here's what's happening, guys. I'm just going to tell you. You have the tornado warning that's just been issued. So many of you are tuning in and you're hearing the tornado sirens. Okay, they're going to be going off. This is the time, and it's not much different. And here's this little. Can you go back to another map for a second? Go back to the warning map. We'll come back to terminal Doppler. Now the overall warning map I just saw run. Because I want to see focus it. So here's that little individual cell, that tornado warning up into Delaware County. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Can you also run velocity for me on this one for a second, Andrew? I just want to see, even though we're on the Wilmington radar, I want to see if we can go ahead and check this cell out right here. But if you're watching, we get your basement. These are going to be these spin-up tornadoes that we talk about. They're going to be very fast. They're going to be moving at 60 miles per hour. They're going to be short-lived. They're picking up probably, what do you think, right in here?
Right by the R on the Hartford County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, right in here. So you see, actually, you can see it right in here. See where you get these colors of the reds moving away from the radar, and it's combined with the green. That's the way vorticity works. You get this shifting of the wind. Some come to the radar. Generally, if everything's moving in the same way, go ahead and zoom down in there if you would. Some of them moving in the same direction, well then you get all one color. Well, embedded within there, picture this wide area. Yeah, they're seeing this right in there. Yeah, they sure are. There's Galena, north of Hoover Lake, off to the northeast. Where you're seeing this, what you're generally seeing are winds that are moving this direction, like this, toward the radar, and then areas that you're getting this rotation. Can you pop on there or do the ID weather tool? Let's just see if we can see if there's that vorticity, if that makes sense.
Yep. Ideal wave tool here. We're looking at some winds up by Cinnaberg. Those are 62 miles per hour going one way. Winds in the opposite direction about 23. Again, that's over a big area.
That's over a big area. What do we got specifically right in here? Can you query some of these down? That's just here south of Highway 36. Just kind of curious about those. Just take a look. I mean, these are obviously the real brighter ones there. But that's what they're looking at. The National Weather Service when they issue these, and that's just what I want you to know. These are very, very similar to the Halloween tornadoes, most likely where you get these spin-ups. All right, so where do you want to go there, Mark? Brooks, 270, 70 on the east side, and he's actually over in this region right here. Brooks, what do you see where you are?
Well, we are still seeing a lot of wind and a lot of rain. We are getting blown around quite a bit.
Let's just keep doing stuff like that, Andrew, if we could. You see anything?
Flying by as we go down 270. We're going to
Just add one spin, we're picking up something real quick.
trying to flip around and go southeast where some of the bigger storms. A lot of traffic still out here.
There is.
You're hot. Go ahead. What?
Part is the wind. We are just getting whipped side to side, especially with the cameras up above us. So that is the biggest thing we're dealing with now. As we push through, as these storms push through, it's really packing the punch and it's quite fierce out here on 270 right now. 45 and mobile track, Brooks Road.
All right, Brooks, thank you. I want to get on to Luann Stoya. Now, she is in Hilliard. Luann, what do you see out there as we speak?
Well, what we've been hearing are tornado warning sirens for the past few minutes, and actually the rain and the wind have died down. But what I can tell you is that the streets are getting more and more quiet over at the service station next to us. We saw several people pull in. In fact, some truckers pulled in.
Toss to me next about the sirens.
The women who are working at that.
You got that? Toss to me next. I want to talk about sirens and where these warnings are specifically.
There is a tornado or high wind. They plan on hitting the men's bathroom. They already have that decided. We are welcome to.
Those are printed if you want them. Well, they're coming.
Come to you, Bill. Very good about these storms because this is an area that we saw in the spring that got reversed.
All right, and here's what I want to point out. Here is where our tornado warning is. It is just south of Pickerington. There's Loveless, Slade Run Metro Park. I want to be very clear. Franklin County, the way the siren system works is that there's a tornado warning in the county, at least in Franklin County and many others. The network of sirens will ring. So you're hearing the sirens in Columbus. You're probably hearing the sirens in Grove City. You're hearing the sirens in Westerville. You guys are not in the tornado warning. All those cities I just mentioned, Gahanna, you're not in the tornado warning. So I like to tell you where it is. I also like to tell you where it is not. Where it is down in the fair.
You can, however, you guys will be on damage control at that point. There's no way you guys will be able to pick up with the storm.
Chestnut Ridge, Metro Park. Now Winchester. You folks you're in the warning zone, but you're a little bit farther off to the east or to the west rather, where you're likely out of
Sounds good.
that
10-4.
threat. Let me move this across here a little bit. But that warning does push into places like Baltimore. You're in Baltimore. That's where I want you to take the tornado precautions. Any of these places that you see right in this region. Here's Wacker Heights. You're not technically in the tornado warning. Lancaster, I'm sure you guys are hearing the sirens. You're not technically in that tornado warning, but it's one of those things that I wouldn't, it wouldn't hurt if you just took those tornado precautions. Now, we're picking up a little bit of rotation right in this region here, but just like the Halloween storm we had a couple of weeks ago, these are going to be quick spin-ups. They're probably going to be on the ground for a matter of minutes. That's about it. Possibly longer, but they're going to be real quick, and they are moving at about 60 miles per hour. So they're going to move very, very rapidly. So again, this is Fairfield County. This far southeastern section of Franklin County is where the warning is. Sirens are going to be going off throughout the county, but that's where it is, in the southern parts of Franklin County. Also, let me draw your attention here. We are now in parts of Delaware. Is that an update to that?
Yeah, it's just an update to those tornado warnings that we already had.
So, same thing with Lincoln County. Here's Hartford Fairground. Let me zoom you on down. This is where that warning is right now. But notice where we're picking up the rotate, or at least picking up the returns, it's a little bit farther off to the east. So Hartford Fairground, that's about it. If you're watching back from Delaware County and you're to the west of this, which most of Delaware County is, yes, you might be hearing the sirens, but you are not in that warning threat right now. I think that's important to say because we do have in our area the network of sirens ring countywide. And that's good. I mean, it's good in some scenarios, not all scenarios, but when there is a warning in the county, we want you to know about it. And you tune into the local station, we tell you, hey, here's where the warning is specifically. So that one right now is into the far eastern side of Delaware County. But as my eyes see it, it's out of Delaware County now, even though that warning is going to be there. And it's just in the parts of Licking County. The current warning in Licking County does not include Newark. It does not include Eaton. It does not include Granville. You guys are not in the tornado warning. You are, however, in the severe thunderstorm warning, and that's when you're going to get these very strong winds that are right out of line. So Johnstown, for example, right now, very active weather. You're going to give it another, probably 15 minutes or so, and then you're going to see that move on out here. Mark, what are we looking at here? Where's Brooks? Is he out on the east side still? East side. Okay, so that's mobile track. We're out there. He's on the east side of Franklin County, potentially pushing into parts of Licking County, depending on where he is out here into the eastern part. But most of the Columbus area, you're in the clear now. Yes, you have some lingering rain around downtown, Upper Arlington, Hilliard, Dublin. You are out of the severe weather threat. Ovets, you're out of the severe weather threat. Where we're in the severe weather threat is Lancaster. Severe weather going to be pushing into your area within a matter of, just minutes. If it's not there already, just a couple of minutes. And then we travel a little bit farther down to the south, Ross County, Chillicothe. You guys are under the gun right now. You had your strongest winds already. And, there's nothing that showed enough for the Weather Service to pick up those pin-ups. But again, these things are way low base. They're not up high in the atmosphere. So a lot of times, quite frankly, the radar doesn't even see them. I mean, they're below the radar, so to speak. Literally, actually, they're below the radar beam. So you don't see them. They pop up and they zoom on out within a matter of minutes. But that is where it's at Eagle Mill down there in Benton County. Into Hocking County, that's still where we have the severe weather threat. Logan, you guys are in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Back over here is where we are with the storms. You're about another 20 minutes away. But again, draw out in Fairfield County. That is where this current tornado warning is and where I'm most concerned of all the weather that's going on right now. Brooks, are you still in Franklin County? Where are you out there? Where are you driving? Interstate 70?
Knox County till 8:30. Knox County till 8:30.
This is new. Thank you, Brooks. While you were just speaking there, now up into Knox County, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. This is in Knox County until 8:30, and many of you actually up in Knox County constantly email Facebook saying, hey, what's going on up here in Knox County? So if you're watching, you're in Knox County, you are under a tornado warning at this time. Currently, they have the warning box up through the entire county, but I'll tell you, where I see it, let me clear that off the screen, is up around Mount Vernon. If you're watching in Mount Vernon, I would take your tornado precautions now. James Jackson is listening to tornado sirens right now. James, where are you specifically?
Right by Coastside downtown, and it's difficult to hear because the tornado warning sirens are going off right now, but the wind has slowly started to pick up here. The rain is coming down off and on. If you take a look at these trees, you can see that the wind.
I'm going to do TDWR on Knox.
All right, so there's James in Columbus there near Coastside. Again, I want everybody to know that if you hear the sirens in the Columbus area, despite the fact that you're hearing the sirens, it's because that tornado warning continues, but it's not for the city of Columbus. I mean, look at the Columbus area. Most of you, if not all of you, are fine. It's into the far eastern side of Franklin County, and I would imagine that the National Weather Service is going to pull those sirens down, pull the warning out of Franklin County anytime, and that means the emergency managers can go ahead and pull that down. In fact, emergency managers, if you're watching, am I seeing this clearly?
Yeah, it looks like it's dropped.
They allow it to expire?
Yeah, the tornado warning does look like it expired. Right now, the only tornado warning is Knox County up in Mount Vernon.
So I do want to say the emergency managers, if you're watching this broadcast, I feel good about you being able to take the sirens down. National Weather Service has pulled that warning off, so I'm not too worried about there being tornadoes in Franklin County. So they pulled that down. Of course, that's your call. Just give me the information, and you can work with it how you will.
I want to point out here the wind's going opposite directions, over 80 miles per hour, so there is some definite rotation in Knox County. And this is mainly to the south of Mount Vernon, and this storm will be generally moving off to the northeast, south of Mount Vernon, in my opinion there.
Right, so this, again, we're now in Knox County, where that's a little bit more certainly more of a threat as we look at that. We go on up here to Knox County, has that tornado warning. In fact, you seen anything here on the, that's the Wilmington radar?
Yeah, it's the Wilmington radar, and that, what we just heard here in the studio, that's just an update to the tornado watch.
Update to the tornado watch. Okay, so in Knox County, we're watching through Knox County. Now is when you need to take those tornado precautions. That means getting to the center part of your house. If you don't have a basement, that's the first place that you want to be. Also, too, you want to take those precautions if you have an area that doesn't have a basement. You want to get to the center part of your house, preferably a bathroom. You want to be in a tub. You want to have more. Think of this right. You want to have as many walls between you and the outside as humanly possible. If you don't have a basement, that's what you desire. If you do not have a basement, you want to be in the center part, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And then if you have a tub, if you're in a tub, those extra walls, essentially, those marble walls or whatever your method is made out of, will be extra precautions for you, maybe some blankets over your head, something like that. So this is where that current warning, Gambier, you are in the warning area. Monroe Mills is in that warning area. We have, of course, Mount Vernon, and right now, Mount Vernon has some very heavy rain. Your tornado threat in Mount Vernon, I'm still going to keep you, in the basement at this time because you have some heavy rain, but out ahead of it, where we would most likely see the tornadoes, have moved a little bit farther off to the east of your area. So your sirens are going off. Don't take those lightly. Here's Andy. You move up into, say, the Mohican Wilderness, up into the northern part there of Knox County. There's Four Corners. All of these places are in that tornado warning at this time. And that is up, as we mentioned, Adam, until 8:30. Let me wind this out one more time before I send it all back to you and show you that line that is capable of producing these severe weather. Certainly severe weather, but the tornadoes is now extending right through Knox County. The warning that is down into Franklin County and Fairfield County, for that matter, the warning has been pulled down. That is the only tornado warning at this time, severe weather warnings for everyone else.
All right, thank you very much, Mel. Well, as this weather has been picking up in severity, we've been seeing more power outages. Let's get into the breaking news center now with Clay Hall with an update on those. Clay.
Very much. In addition to all the reporters that we have out in the
Pull up one when you want to.
Do you want to cover this? You want to do this?
Yeah, whenever we're back in
Okay.
County Sheriff's Office reporting in the upper Sandusky area near State Route 199. 3 or 4 barns there have incurred heavy damage. 3 or 4 barns in the upper Sandusky area.
I'm not doing anything there yet. I'm going to talk about the wind gusts that have so far been reported.
Now at 3100, we're approaching Franklin County 925, and Fairfield now hit 800. Again, out.
Fairfield, thunderstorm warning. Yeah, no, they haven't popped in here yet.
All right, Clay, thank you. Let's get it back over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly now. Bill, where are we at as far as the severity? Or Andrew?
Well, yeah, no, we're both watching. In fact, Andrew, you have some reports that have come in already.
Yeah, so far the wind gusts that we have been seeing coming in, take a look at this on Weather One if you guys want to pull that up. These are the wind gusts that we've had reported so far, and these are normally from airports or where they have actually weather stations set up. So Westerville, 68 mile per hour wind gusts, Delaware, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, Midway 58, North Lewisburg, which is in Union County, 50 miles per hour, Dublin, 65, OSU Airport, which is in northwest Columbus, 61 miles per hour. So, yeah, we're seeing this rain, but some of these cells are having some severe winds. For a severe thunderstorm, you need winds 58 miles per hour or stronger. So you see that almost all of these our severe criteria storms. So again, we are taking these very seriously because there is likely some damage in these locations, especially in Delaware. 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's something that does not take very lightly, Bill.
No, we could easily see power outages with that, and see trees down, with all the rain that we had. So yeah, definitely severe weather continues to work its way across. Let me show you the animated radar. Back over to weather 2, if you would. This is over the last hour or so, and what you're going to look at is once this crosses, let me show you what's happening back here. Nothing. This is the final edge that is moving through. Now, the city of Franklin County, we're in the clear, so that's good news. Up into parts of Delaware County. Let me center this up here for you real quick and show you. In Delaware County, first of all, let me just explain. I'm going to show you the counties that are in the clear. Hardin County, you're clear. Marion County, you're clear. When I say clear, what I mean by that is your severe weather threat is over. It's still going to be windy. You're still going to potentially have some rain on and off, but your severe weather threat has ended. It is for the most part out of Morrow County. Delaware County, it has ended for you guys. Union County, it is over. Madison County, you're fine. You can rest easy the rest of the night. Fayette County, you're over. You're fine. Franklin County, as I mentioned, especially the city of Columbus, that threat has now passed down into Pickaway County. I'm going to give you guys the green light as well. Those are the counties in which we are in the clear. I'm going to use now the next one and put the live radar on here for you as it bounces around and show you. In fact, those warnings are still issued for parts of those counties, but again, I wouldn't worry about it too much back here. Where we are worrying about it, we still have that tornado warning up into Knox County. We're going to say Licking County, especially central and eastern parts of Licking County. Along Highway 36, that's where you're going to be still dealing from central, say from Newark out to the east. That's where you're going to be dealing with those strong storms that are moving across the area down into Fairfield County, but it is leaving Fairfield County right now. I'll clear this off. I'm going to zoom you down and show you. You're in the city of Lancaster. You have a few more minutes, and then it will be gone, at least your severe weather threat. But as we look here, right along, there's Main Street there. We're heading toward Somerset. There's Zion Road. You have U.S. Highway 22. That is where we are watching some of these severe winds that will be pushing along this right into Highway 22, heading towards Somerset and Perry County. That is where we are watching for the severe weather threat. You guys in Somerset say you're about 8 minutes away. Lancaster, you're just a few minutes away from being in the clear. About another 5 minutes, and then your severe threat is over. It's probably over now, but give it another 5 minutes just to be on the safe side. We move down. Logan, your threat is not over into Hocking County. You're about 5 minutes away, 4 minutes away from some very strong winds. And then let me give you an all clear in Logan another 20 minutes from now. So you're watching in Hocking County. Along 33, Highway 33, all this area in Hocking County, that is where we are focusing in our attention for the next part of this, and that is this big wave that's back here near Gibsonville and down near Cedar Grove. Right in this vicinity here is where we would likely see at this time the very strong winds and any of those spin-up tornadoes right around the leading edge of this system. And again, I said it, I'll say it again, the leading edge is where that biggest threat is. Now we move out towards Athens County. You have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for all of you guys. The Plains, Millfield, Gloucester, Conant, Nelsonville, all in the severe weather threat, all still quite a ways away. Say Athens another 30 minutes, Nelsonville another 18 to 20, so you need to sit tight and let this thing pass for you guys. Widen it out a little bit. Here's Perry County, as I mentioned, New Lexington, the county seat. You're probably 15 minutes away from the main threat. There it is, 15. This will extend over to Morgan County also, where, as we look a little farther to the east, they've yet to issue the warning for Morgan County, for, over to parts of Guernsey County, up to the north. Noble County, you're not in the warning quite yet. There are parts of Guernsey County. Cambridge, you're technically not in the warning yet, but I'm sure you will be as this continues to move its way across. But for you guys, again, out into the far east, we're looking at about another 50 minutes. Muskingum, Zanesville, along Interstate 70, that threat is still yet to come. That's where you're going to see in another 20 minutes or so, you'll start to see those winds increase, 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. So that's what we're watching. And then farther to the north, don't want to leave you guys out in Coshocton County at all. You've seen some heavier rain move across your region. You're in the severe weather threat. In fact, your severe weather warning is up until 9 o'clock for Coshocton County and Tuscarawas County. In terms of specifics, the city of Coshocton, the biggest threat for you guys is in about 30 minutes from now. Tornado warning continues through parts of Knox County.
All right, Bill, thank you. We want to get to social media now. Social media was a very important part of these types of events. If we can safely shoot these photos and videos of the storm, we want you to do it. And people have responded to that request. And let's get over to meteorologist Andrew Michael now with an update on that.
I think that, we're just asking people, have you guys seen any damage out there? Again, if you guys can safely take any pictures of the damage, post those to our ABC6 or Fox 28 Facebook pages. So just what we've gotten in, just text versions, Haven't seen any photos yet that have been coming in. Terrible winds here in Marengo, so thanks for Penny for that. Sirens going off in Canal Winchester, so thanks for that report. Massive winds, that's about all on heat and some rain, so again, these are still coming in. New tornadoes here, sirens here in Reynoldsburg, they just went off from Joni, and then another one here, severe damage here in Marion, dumpsters, Liz won't stay shut. Again, if you have any photos of this damage, please send that in to us. Trampoline just blew over from Taylor. Yeah, we normally do see that when we see these winds pick up. So again, any pictures of the damage that you guys are seeing, I know it's dark outside, if you can safely take those pictures, post them to our EDC6 Facebook page, and we will be using those on air. For now, I'm going to toss things back over to Bill at this point.
All right, well, let's give you another update and show you what's happening here. If you're just joining us, what you're looking at is the tornado warning that's in effect for Knox County. So you're hearing the sirens go off. What I want to do is show you where it is specifically and tell you where the threat is and where it is not. Because I think that's equally as important as telling you where the threat is. If you're in Mount Vernon, you're in Danvers, you're in Brandon, you're up in Fredericktown, Centerburg, you're fine. You're in the clear. You don't have to worry about that. If you are listening to this broadcast, you're watching this broadcast on your phone or on TV, if you haven't lost power, you're okay. You can go out in the basement. You're just fine. It's into the eastern side. Bringhaven. That's where we're going to be watching this particular area for some damage. Millwood, you are still in the threat here in this area. Monroe Mills, you're beyond the threat. You're okay. There's Gambier and stuff. Hyattsville will keep you in the threat. But right up here to the north. Now, currently, to widen this out, they have not extended this a little bit farther to the east. So we're not seeing it in Coshocton County. What we have right now is a severe thunderstorm warning for Coshocton County, but they have not extended this into Coshocton or Holmes County. So that's good news. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. We'll look at the radar. In fact, Andrew, would you mind just pop up vorticity for me for just a second? We might need to go to the terminals off the radar for this. But let's just look and see if we see any new signatures. Okay, here's Mount Vernon. Remember that the one, when you see the colors that are all the same, that's a good thing. You don't want to see two different colors that are side by side. I want to see kind of up in this region.
Yeah, so we are definitely getting some rotation there.
Right there. You can see that's a little bit right there. That's right here. What's that warning?
That new warning that's coming in right now is an update to the Knox County. Still goes until 8:30 p.m.
It goes till 8:30. So here we're looking. These aren't classic signatures, but there's definitely some shifting of the winds where the green is an indicator that the winds are heading toward the radar. The red is that they are heading away. So you picture the radar is down to the south. These winds are moving the reds are moving in this direction, right? They're moving away. They're moving from the northeast. It's Highway 36 where it combines with 62. However, right here, we have a couple areas that the winds are moving this direction. When everything else is moving this way, that's oftentimes a signature of rotation there. And that's one of the things that we look for. The National Weather Service, the governing body that actually issues these tornado warnings, they look for it too. And you saw that going 40 miles per hour one way, 60 miles the other way. You combine that, you got about 100 miles of shifting wind. So in this part of Knox County, again, Gambier, Mount Vernon, you're fine. If you're hearing the sirens, you're fine. You're out of the threat area there. Up there in the Bringhaven. And what we'll be watching is this system. I'm going to widen this out a little bit for you. This system to be moving up to the northeast. So this region up in here, if you're watching anywhere, there's a lot of rural areas up here. So if you know anybody, it's that time you want to take those tornado precautions in this region because, granted, these are not massive tornadoes. These aren't humongous tornadoes. Most likely, they're not certainly looking like it. Spin up, especially if you're not in the same area, it can be very, very problematic for you. They've actually limited that warning and they've taken you guys out of Mount Vernon. So the emergency managers up into Knox County, again, if you're watching, this is where the current warning is, right over in this region. Can you tell me if they've extended that over into Holmes County and all?
No, not yet. All they've done is just looks like they've just updated that and kind of cut it back a little bit.
Okay, that's exactly what it was. But if you're watching and you have every county is a little bit different. Most counties they run it in a county-wide warning system. So if there is a tornado warning within the county anywhere, all the sirens go off. Some places like Delta has their own little city system, so that's nice. So some places are different around our viewing area, but many of you in Knox County, I'm sure, are hearing those tornado sirens right now. It's this area near Millwood, north of Artana. That's where the best chance to pick up any of this rotation is going to be. And with these moving at about 60 miles per hour, I mean, think about that. These are moving about a mile per minute. They are screaming along. So it's not one of these things you would want to wait. They're moving very, very fast, which is both good and bad. Bad in that it's going to be, if it's on the ground for, let's just say, a minute, it can cover a mile. I mean, that's not good at all. But if they're moving along like that, it's not going to be in one area for a long time. They're going Newark. And by the way, we're getting also too, you see this right here? This is where radars shift around from the Cleveland radar over to the Wilmington radar. We have two radars in our area, essentially, that we look at. One's to the north, one's to the south. So this is right in between the sandwich between those two. So that's why you're getting this cluttery look here. But that thread over near Hanover, this is moving out of Lincoln County. We're still in the severe thunderstorm watch at this time. Thunderstorm warning, pardon me. But all the areas outside of this are clear. Franklin County, completely clear. Pickaway County, for the most part, I'm going to give you the all clear. The warning is after area. Pickaway County is a sliver that's part of that warning. You are in the clear throughout the entire county of Pickaway County. Chillicothe, you guys are in the clear. Not all of Ross County. There are sections of Ross County into the far southeast part of Ross County or Vigo. Also up to the north of that, there's Haiti, up to the north Schooling. This is where we still have that warning segment. But near Chillicothe, as I mentioned, you guys are out. You're in the warning technically, but you're fine. You're going to be out of the warning. I'm sure the National Weather Service will pull that down at any time. Waverly and Pike County, we have some very strong storms moving through your area. Give it another 10 minutes. Piketon, it's knocking on your door right now. Here's Tennyson. You have a few more minutes until that threat is over. But you get the general gist of all this. You get the line that moves across in your area over the course of about 10 minutes. That's where the biggest threat is. And then it moves across. But along these lines, along this area, right up into here, and then areas farther to the north, you can get these little spin-up tornadoes. And, tornado is a tornado. Tornadoes are dangerous. But there is a clear difference between an F0 spin-up tornado and an F4 violent tornado. Humongous difference. And what we've not had reports of, and what would be highly unlikely, are the reports that we had today in Illinois and Indiana, where we saw towns, neighborhoods leveled off the ground. Violent tornadoes. The National Weather Service is going to go out tomorrow in those parts and then assess the damage. And they will then put categories on them. And I'd be surprised if we saw anything less than F4 in some of these areas. EF4 maybe, potentially EF5, the damage in cars picked up and thrown around and mangled, tossed on houses, and debris balls picked up on the radar. So just incredible damage there. We are not seeing that. However, a tornado is a rotating column of air that reaches the ground and can cause damage. Hopefully, it won't cause a lot of damage, but that's what we're watching right now. As always, under any circumstance, whenever we have tornado warnings out, take your tornado precautions now, so I will continue to do that part of the month.
All right, Bill, thank you. You mentioned that damage in Illinois. We're going to listen in live to the Illinois State Police discussing some of the damage from earlier today. Oh, excuse us, they just wrapped that up. We are instead going to go back to Bill and Andrew. We're going to look at where we're at right now.
All right, we're just kind of looking at this. Andrew, can you do me a favor? Let's just, even though they have not issued the warning out for parts of Coshocton County, can we just test this on the terminal Doppler radar to see if we see here from our system any rotation up at this part?
Yeah, and by that point, we're starting to actually try to get closer into the Cleveland area, terminal Doppler, but we'll move that up just a little bit to the northeast towards Brinkhaven.
Yeah, that's it. Now, you see the signature is not on there anymore? We said that if any of these are on the ground, they're on the ground for a minute or two. They're usually quick-lived and sit around. So we don't see that there. So that, of course, is some great news. I'm going to step out of the shot here for just a second. I'm sure that I feel confident that the National Weather Service will pull that tornado warning down unless they spot something else on there. But I just don't see anything on here. You?
No, not right now. And if you guys do want to pull up Weather One, we just got a new wind gust reported. Heath Airport reported 66-mile-per-hour wind gust. Lancaster, 53-mile-per-hour wind gust. And you can see some of the other ones on there again. A lot of these over 65 miles per hour. So we are seeing some very significant winds with this leading edge of storms. And just to show you how fast these are moving, we'll show you a wide view, the regional view. This is a 6-hour loop. You see, they were in Illinois 6 hours. They're already past Columbus now. So these storms are racing off to the east. And once this is through, we're done. We're going to be in the clear. So that's the good news with this, Bill.
Absolutely. Fairfield County, you guys are in the clear. And, these warnings are set to expire at certain times. For example, Fairfield expires at 8:15, another 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you guys are clear. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're fine.